Self-Love, Self-Healing, a unique program that's specially designed for you to take care of your holistic health and total well-being. In short, heal yourself, love your life, now and forevermore.
Good morning, Malaysia. Welcome to Durya Nation. Once again with Dr. Avanish Shukla, Self-Love, Self-Healing session. Today, weather is very rainy and I believe that most of us are waiting for this rain long time. It was really a hot days we have passed. Last 2 weeks, there are a bit of at least a cooling effect we can see on the rain. So, once again, we are here with a warm topic. As we discussed earlier on our session about the diabetes, and it was one of my project which I have researched on, and also still going on certain research in diabetes. Today we want to discuss that how does diabetes affected by psychosomatic view, or another way I can say diabetes and its psychosomatic understanding in homeopathy. Diabetes and its psychosomatic understanding in homeopathy. Psychosomatic, the word when we used, many of them, they get confused. Is it still the medicine, or are you talking about psychiatric, or what does it basically mean? So do not get confused. I'm going to tell you in this coming few minutes that how does homeopathy believe in psychosomatic ways of evolution of disease. And diabetic is one of that which has a very strong connection with your psychology. First, what is diabetes? Again, I am trying to just recap all those which I have discussed in our previous session, that whenever there is a blood sugar levels increases in your blood, and that we see into the normal conditions, and we find if it is imbalance, if it is increases, we were telling the patient is suffering with diabetes. There are two types of diabetes where they say type 1 and type 2. In type 1 diabetes, mostly they are saying it is relating to our genetic conditions, or those may require the insulin to artificially given. Body is not producing enough insulin into the body. Type 2 diabetes, which is very common nowadays, and WHO says that there are chances in 2030 we are going to have as like an epidemic, and it is going to be every third or fourth person who is suffering with blood sugar levels. So what is the reason behind for WHO to comment such type of statement? Why these things are happening? Where is the reason behind? Is it that we all are born with the diabetes? Is it that if we have a genetic condition, or my father or my mother or my grandmother is suffering, means that I am born with that? No, my dear. I would not say that is right statement. If that your genetics or your father, mother, or you have a family history, there is hardly 5 or 10% chances you are having that you may get, not necessarily even 100% get, you may get 5 or 10% similar type of disorder in your later age of life, right? So from where this type 2 is developing? It's nowhere but in our society. It is nowhere but in our house. It is nowhere but we ourselves. It's a lifestyle. It is the way of living. In way of living, I'm not saying that what you're doing daily basis. It is the way of living. How is our mental health? WHO's health definition is including the mental framework also. Social, physical and mental. And nowadays they put a spiritual also. So we have this very important component which is known as a mental health. So if I talk about myself, what we do when we wake up in morning till the night when we go to sleep. So simple thing, we do daily activities. Are you happy with your daily activities? Question is, do I have a choice? I have to go to my work. I have to go to do this work. I have to manage my housework. I have to manage my hospital, manage my clinic, manage my work, manage my job, children's, everything. My dear, you forgot that work which you are doing, it's not merely the work. It has a deeper connection from your mind. And as we are stressing ourselves daily routines, these daily routines are stressing our hormonal system, our body hormone system, and that body hormone system will stress our organs. And it will not happen overnight, but definitely within a passage of time, 5 years, 10 years, depending on your immunity or your resistance power, you will develop the disease. And one fine morning you check your blood and you find been diagnosed as diabetic or being diagnosed as blah blah blah. There are many other types of disorders, right? So what I'm trying to say here, that we are living in a condition which is not happy or not really convenient to us, or are we forced to live? Are we forced to live the life, or is it something that we need to learn how to live the life? There are few things which always we understand when we read the books, that in life we must have the learning process, but many times we fail to do so, and we are taking as just as a granted. So when the nature becomes like taking as a granted or not serious about it, you will definitely indiscipline your life. Okay, it's too much of non-scientific points which I'm discussing, even though the diabetes is very scientific, right? Why? Because the topic suggests psychosomatic. If we can change our nature of thought, there are possibilities that we can change the morphology of our cell or our genes, where the impression is already weakened, and it may future become a very potential gene for the developing the disease like diabetes. But if we are keep stressing, definitely we are increasing the percentage of getting the diabetes. But if we hold that thought, for example, the thought about your worriness about your health, the simple thought that you are so worried that every now and then getting tired, or maybe getting headaches, or maybe having leg pains, or maybe having some gastric disorders, and you keep worrying about that symptoms. I do not know, maybe it is going to be this problem, that problem, my family history belongs to this problem, so I may suffer with this problem. It's nothing happened. It's nothing happened. You are creating for your future. Your thoughts are very powerful. How the frequency connects, how the frequency resonates to your body and mind, and it manifests. This science has not been taught in our books. Our books has been taught what you see is what you have. Beyond that, you don't believe. So when we talk about the patients that, what is your routine? Oh, daily routine is the same, doctor. I just get up in morning, and then there's a morning stress. Huh? Morning you wake up and you have a stress? I mean, if you are sleeping well 6 hours or 8 hours, I believe you should be more happy when you wake up, because your body system has been completely refreshed. So what we supposed to have? We're supposed to have more energy. Oh no, doctor, when I wake up in morning, I feel I don't want to go to office. But then you go. And what you do there? I go there and I time pass only. I try to time pass my time so that I can come back again to home. So you see what is happening here. I am not saying that this is not happening to many of us. It is what the routine is. We are doing or being forced to do what we don't want to do, what we don't like to do, and we don't have courage to choose what we like to do. Many times we do think, but then we don't execute. And that's where 90% people are failed, because they don't even execute. They only think and then get it off, right? So these all things, when we look into the broader prospect of understanding of this disorder, not only that the pancreatic cells are getting damaged, and that's where the insulin hormone cannot work, and you need a tablet to activate the insulin or to kill the sugar, or if sugar tablets are not working, then you are going to get the insulin jab directly. So it is not only that particular part. If it is that particular part, that only looking care of taking care of only the pancreatic cells, or taking care of only the insulin hormone, everybody would have been cured, because we got so much of medicines in hospitals which is being given to the patients every 3 months. And I am seeing the patients who are suffering last many years, and at the end of the day we find they are only coming up with the complications of diseases or the diabetes. Like for example, the patient having the diabetic foot, getting the amputations of their legs, their fingers. Furthermore, we go into they may have diabetic neuropathy, where they can't, rasakabas, they cannot feel anything. Then we have the patients who is coming with the blur vision, retinopathy, diabetic retinopathy, right? Then they have a skin problem. Then there is something called kidney problem. They are going for the dialysis. Their creatinine levels, their urea level, their potassium levels are increasing, right? So what we plan for them when somebody start taking the medicine, whether it's Ayurveda or homeopathy or allopathy or Chinese medicine or Islamic medicine, what is the aim for us to take care of it? I'm very sure the aim is not to create more problem. But unfortunately, today's world, we are only creating, especially when talking about the diabetes, you have these complications. Diabetic patients will be given high blood pressure medicine. Diabetic patients will be given cholesterol medicine. Diabetes patient will be given the Lasix. Diabetes patients will be given the Chai Dhara Ubat, blood thinner. Come on. We wanted to treat your diabetes, not to create these all other problems. But the concept is as such. No, you may have a high blood pressure. Please control of your heart, so take the blood thinner. Let the blood thin so heart doesn't need to get more challenge. All these things are coming from psychological effect. And with this way, diabetes cannot be cured ever. It is 100% fact. I can also ask you all or request you all to go and ask 10 people who are around you who are taking at least 10 years, more than 10 years, the diabetic medicines. Ask them, where are they today? Are they happy with the treatment? Are they happy with their health problems when they have started and today after 10 years? It's just because we are still treating the organ, only the material. We are not reaching to the root cause of the problem. So what is the root cause? And that's where we start with psychosomatic view, right? So psycho means who is talking about the psychology or talking about the mind, and soma means physical body. So here articulation of a mental frame to the physical frame. Or such simple example I can give, that when you are too stressed or too anxious, you find physically your body pulse will be high. You find your heart rate is high. You find your gestures or your body is a bit more nervous. This is just because of stress. Right? So stress is not a physical symptom. Stress is a mental symptom, psycho symptom, and somatically you are seeing that body is sweating, body is having palpitation, and so on. Similarly, when this symptom can occur, why can't diabetes also be affected by this psychosomatic point? I explain you one of the case of mine. Is well treated now. I mean, there are many cases. I would say very strongly, I will say that out of 10, at least 6 patients can definitely get better with my homeopathic medicines by using the approach of psychosomatic view. and non-toxic. There is no drugs involved into that. And we also try to sustain the health, so then patient does not need to take medicine whole life. So let me discuss you one case. This is the case of one of the professor. I don't speak the name here. This professor, he has around 55 years old, and he is taking some of the herbal medicines by his own last 12 years, approximately 12 years. On and off, his medicines are getting increasing in number, meaning to say the herbs he was taking in a different quantity, then he increased the quantity, or all those, or sometimes when it is very, very problematic, he will go to take other medicines or doctor consult. So he been brought by somebody to me, and then I start talking to him. When I was talking to him, he said, I got my psychiatrist, and I think you don't need to ask me all those questions, doctor. I just need a medicine to reduce the blood sugar level. So you understand what and he's a professor. So if you argue with him, he may understand, or he may say, I have no space to understand whatever you're talking. And the doctors, he been so many, so he know the doctor's approach is that there is a blood sugar high, kindly take this medicine and reduce your blood sugar. So it was quite tough to penetrate in his brain, but I promised to him that if you will listen and cooperate with me in my case taking, probably that you don't need to take a medicine whole life. Oh, that was eye-opening for him. Whole life, I'm 15 years, I'm already taking the medicine. So I said, that's why you just give me the 3 months or 6 months. You will know what I'm talking. Somehow he convinced, and since I was also teaching also, so that make him to believe on me. And then he said, okay, tell me what you want. So I asked him his life space. We went from beginning as he born a baby, and then the teenager, and then he has gone into the university degree, and then he went somewhere, and then after that again he come back into the university, then again he completed his masters and his PhD, and then after that he is now lecturing. So what I was trying to stress in this whole scenario is basically where we went wrong to develop the diabetes. So I got a note over there. At the age of 44, when he wanted to complete his PhD, he joined at the age of 43, 44, he joined, and then because of his certain, you can say, the IQ or maybe the ways of working was not supporting him about his PhD work. And he has to really take an extra time to complete that. It was an extra effort which he was keep putting, and at the end he was not happy. Means he wants to complete the PhD, but he is not happy also completing PhD. So why you are doing it? My question was, he was torturing his body and mind. And it was not for one day, but it has gone almost 4-5 years till he has completed the PhD. And one fine morning when he was having a very, high headache and all, he went to check the doctor, and doctor said, I think I have to check your blood sugar. And they found him diabetic. And then, but he denied to take any medicine, as he was taking already some other medicines. And he said, when doctor decided to give me the medicine, I stopped going to seeing the doctor, because I believe I can treat myself. He was in denial state, not to listen even that he has a diabetes, right? So one thing, that he has tormented his body system, and then that torture has given the diabetes, and then he is not accepting now. He is saying, no, I don't have diabetes. I can heal it for my own. So all these things are creating more complications and ending up with the another complication. So when he came to me, he also have some diabetic foot. He has also like a numbness and formication type of symptoms in his body, and some gastric symptoms in his body, and he was very weak. The body stamina is very weak. All these things he has created. Otherwise only there was a diabetes earlier. But the further symptoms he has added on by listening his own mind rather than listening the experts in that. So many times what happened, that when such conditions arises, when you are in such type of traumatic conditions of mind, try to hold and think twice. Are we really looking for this trauma? My body is really ready for this trauma or not? If you are not ready, try to withdraw yourself. Even though if you don't complete your PhD, you are still a human being. So what I'm trying to say here, there's one example I'm giving you. There are many such type of PhD work we are doing, and if we are not understanding this concept of our own mind, we are creating a similar type of problems to our body. It may not be diabetes, it can be something else, So that is the psychosomatic point which I wanted to discuss. We do go for all the disorders, whether it is the diabetes or any other chronic disorders. When we want to understand, we must understand the psychology of the person, because anything whatever on the physical body comes, it first alarm into the mind, it first alarm into the psychology. So this is the evolution of diabetes or in a mental level, and from there slowly you find the patient is developing into the hormonal level, and the hormones are the one which is governing your organs, and then you find your organs are getting affected. If I say how does it help to treat? So first thing first, the patient start thinking about the mental symptoms are getting better. So nobody asks when they give the medicine for diabetes, are you sleeping well or not? Patient may say, I am not sleeping well because I got polyuria. Banyakali Kanching. During night time, he will go many times, frequently urination, right? So urination is a common symptom. Many time or multiple time going to a polyuria is a common symptom for diabetes. Common symptom means this will be there if a person is diabetes. But there may be some other problem. Patient will tell, I won't fall asleep very easily. I lie down, then 1-2 hours I twist and turn, and then I use my mobile, and when I read the book, then after that, so 11 o'clock I go to bed, but I really get sleep at 1:30 only. But morning 6 o'clock I have to get up because I have to rush back. No, I want to avoid the traffic, I want to go to early office. So, you see, 3-4 hours only he's sleeping. In that 3-4 hours, he will wake up and go for urine, go for urination. So, how is the quality of sleep? Of course, it is disturbed. And don't you feel when your body is not sleeping well, it is also going to create a stress to your other organs? Yes, my dear, it does. And that is where, if it has become the habit, that's where we are getting problem. 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year, till 10 years you will go on. And then 11th year, suddenly you find your body is weak. Your body has developed a disease. You won't remember all those nights which you have just spent on the bed with 2 hours or 3 hours only sleeping. This is the torture. This is the trauma, mental to physical body. So that is how does it helps to treat. We will start treating your discipline levels. By giving the medicine, we will try to recover whatever the damage happened. But the damage should not happen again, so that you have to take care of your discipline. If you need a 6 to 8 hours sleep, you have no option. But switch off your mobile, switch off other things, and do take a rest. Minimum 6 hours. If you're looking for your good heart, additionally 2 hours. So almost 8 hours in a night time, we must need a sleep. Then our body will get charged completely. So we can evolve the day better way. Many of them, they also ask that can it be cured by using the psychosomatic way? Very subjective question. How much you eat, that's also very subjective. One may eat 1 chapati or 1 small quantity of rice. One may eat 5 or 6, right? Similarly it goes. When our hunger is not equal, how can our disease can be equal? It is not a matter that, whether you are cured or you are not cured. It's a matter how good you are applying yourself to getting better. And result or the outcome will reciprocate, will be given accordingly to you back. Right? So some people, like my patients, they have taken 5 years or 7 years allopathic medicines, Ubat Hospital. Then they come back and say, doctor, after taking the 7 years this medicine, my blood sugar level fasting is still 7 plus. So I rather take homeopathic medicine and I'm still 7 plus, but at least I am not taking any drug. My body is safe. And then when I administer them some more discipline, like I said, okay, at least 2 kilometers daily you walk or jog. The moment they started this practicing, they find that 7 has become to 6 plus, 6 plus. This is the additional what you are taking care of, your discipline, right? So if a one who will start controlling the food, if the one who will start taking care of with the exercise, believe me, homeopathic medicine can give them the cure where they do not require to continue homeopathic medicine for whole life. We have patients where in 1 year, where in 8 months, we have reduced and then we came out from the treatment. And it will not again reoccur. Like you take today 1 month before you have taken the blood sugar levels. After 3 months again you check the blood sugar levels. Either it will be same or maybe better. Even though after reducing and stopping the medicines. Why? Because your immune system has already been strengthened against such type of problem and stresses. So now you are not embarking back to the same situation. Getting my point? So this is how the homeopathy works when it takes the diabetes as a psychosomatic disorder, which is very, very crucial to understand the person as a whole. But once you understand that, it definitely handles much better outcome. So I would like to give a bit of tip or certain tips for the patients or the people who are suffering or even who want to prevent not to be into such type of healthy state like diabetes. Number 1, please check your routines correctly and adjust your sleeping timing. Sleep at least minimum 6 hours. That's a night sleep. If you can additionally take 2 hours more, it's good for your heart. Especially the aged people above 50 must sleep minimum 8 hours. Number 2, your food. Your food is your health. So whatever you are eating, be cautious what you are eating. Yes, certain those foods which are very oily and very meaty, those try to avoid it, reduce it, or if you will not eat also is good. Food which are very green or leafy vegetables, if you can increase it, that's very good. Because that is having the antioxidant effect on your body, so it will emulsify excessive toxins or the whatever the dirt is there, it will try to eliminate from your blood. Rice is one of the critical factor where you have to think. I always suggest also, I believe in previous talk also I have mentioned about, don't put the rice first in your plate. Put all other what you want to eat, like your vegetables and all, filled it, and then a small portion whatever remain, there you put your rice. So controlling or avoiding the rice is one of the best way also to not to add the carbs in your body and the excessive sugar or the glucose in your body, right? Try to take your night dinner before the sunset. That is one of the best way to oxidize it, to metabolize the food very fast. So then you don't have unnecessarily stomach problems and all. Once your body system will be healthy, then your pancreatic system or your hormonal or endocrine system will be also better, right? And on top of that, if you can think to spare at least 10 minutes for your own self. For own yourself means that evaluate yourself, think about yourself, what really you are doing in a day and what you are going to do tomorrow. Is it helping you or not? Because many of the time our brain has more than 10,000, 14,000 thoughts in a day or even more. So what thought you need to work with, what thought you don't need to work with, that is very important. And that's where you try to control your stress levels, unnecessary stress levels, and it will not hurt your organs. So you are controlling the psycho, so the somatic possibilities are much better, or the somatic health will be much better. So with these words, I would like to stop here today, and we'll be back again with a new topic in different volumes with a more deeper prospect. If any questions, anything, do drop us the email or the messages, and we welcome again in the next topic to you all. Thank you.